There's a lot of discussion going on about the development of natural gas, whether it can be done safely and responsibly. At ExxonMobil, we know the answer is yes.
As America's energy needs continue to increase, the multitude of ideas for different energy sources have only diversified. The dwindling resources of crude oil have necessitated a shift towards alternative energy concepts, such as solar power, wind power, biofuel, and many others. However, fracking, more formally known as hydraulic fracturing, has been in the forefront of alternative energies. Over the last 40 years, it has instigated a large amount of controversy and is rapidly gaining speed to be the next dominant energy resource for our globalized world. The process of fracking is done by using horizontal drilling to extract the natural gas that lies in the beds of shale rock miles below the Earth's surface. After determining an appropriate location, a large drill pipe drives itself straight down into the Earth's layers, far away from the surface and groundwater levels. The drill is then removed, and a steel tube called surface casing is inserted into the drill well. Cement is pumped throughout, securing the sides of the well and protecting the groundwater from possible contamination. The drill is inserted again and the drilling continues. Additionally, a second layer of surface casing and cement is added, creating a second protective barrier. Once the well hole finally meets the shale bed, a special drill is used to do horizontal drilling into the beds of shale rock. With accurate measuring done beforehand, the horizontal drill penetrates until the desired distance is achieved. Again, the steel casing and cement process continues to ensure safety. Next, a perforating tool is inserted into the well to create small fissures in the bed of shale rock. Once the tool is removed, fracturing fluid, made mostly of water and sand, flushes the entire length of the tube and creates even more tiny fractures inside the shale bed. The water is then flushed out, but the sand within the fracturing fluid keeps the fractures open. Ridge plugs are also inserted into the fracture openings to ensure that the gas does not extract prematurely. The perforating tool will repeat this process along the entire length of the well. Once this process is complete, the ridge plugs are removed and the natural gas is able to flow to the surface. The drilling process can take around 2 to 3 months, but extracting the shale gas takes only a few days and provides up to 20 to 40 years of energy production. There are major shale gas reserves in Pennsylvania, the Appalachian Mountain Chain, Texas, Michigan, and the Midwest. In addition, more and more shale gas reserves are being discovered in the U.S. every year. In its annual Energy Outlook for 2011, the U.S. Energy Information Administration, or EIA, had more than doubled its estimate of technically recoverable shale gas reserves in the United States, from 353 trillion cubic feet to 827 trillion cubic feet. The most notable shale formation is the Marcellus Formation on the Appalachian Mountains. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, 1,446 wells were drilled in the Marcellus Shale alone in the year 2010.
Historically, the United States government has supported efforts to increase our understanding and production of unconventional energy sources. Modern fracking techniques would have taken much longer to achieve commercial viability without federal funding and R&D oversight provided by organizations such as the Department of Energy and national research labs like Sandia National Laboratories. These federal institutions, in collaboration with private companies, are responsible for pioneering directional drilling techniques, developing diamond-tip drill bits, implementing 3D microseismic imaging technologies, and much more. Fred Julander, the head of Julander Energy and a member of the National Petroleum Council, has noted, "The DOE was there with research funding when no one else was interested, and today we are all reaping the benefits. Early DOE R&D in tight gas sands, gas shales, and coal bed methane helped catalyze the development of technologies that we are applying today. Clearly, without the help of the government, fracking would not be the promising energy source that it is today." In November 2011, at the request of Congress, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency issued a plan to study the potential impacts of hydraulic fracturing on drinking water resources. The future of hydraulic fracturing in the United States may very well be determined by the findings of the EPA's study, which are due in 2014.
The recent technological advancement of fracking has the ability to pave the way for new growth in domestic energy. However, according to the EPA, fracking has the potential to create an abundance of environmental concerns. The first involves the contamination of groundwater, which can be a result of a spill or faulty well construction. If fracking chemicals contaminate the groundwater, they can move into homeowners' wells and can have harmful effects on the households of Americans. Harmful effects are exactly what happened in Dimmock, Pennsylvania in 2009 when Norma Florentino's water well blew up. This was caused by an increase of methane gas into the community's water supply, which was believed to be caused by hydraulic fracturing. Another environmental concern is the disposal of wastewater used in fracking. After water is used in the fracking process, most of the contaminated water is brought to water treatment plants to be properly disposed of. Many water treatment plants, however, are not designed to remove many of the chemicals that are used. Instead, they are forced to dispose of them in other ways, such as deep well injection. Oil and gas companies use this method to dispose of their fluid waste. Ohio's Department of Natural Resources conducted a study in 2011 on a number of earthquakes that all were less than a mile from a deep well injection site. They concluded that the seismic activity was likely brought about by the deep well injection. Thirdly, fracking activity has been proven to increase the emissions of harmful chemicals into the air such as methane, organic compounds, hazardous air pollutants, and greenhouse gases, which, according to the study by Cornell University in 2011, can contribute to global climate change. The last and possibly most important for our future sustainability is the stress that fracking has on our future water supply. In a single well, between 1 to 8 million gallons of water is used. The water is mixed with almost 600 chemicals in the fracking process. Although some of the water is recycled, most of it goes to waste. This could potentially have devastating effects on society's availability to obtain clean water.
Although there may be some environmental concerns that come with fracking, the economic benefits are immense and must be taken into consideration. As natural gas production in the United States increases, our domestic economy will reap the benefits. Additionally, hydraulic fracturing may be the key for our nation's energy independence, a large game changer in upcoming decades. It is estimated that 1 trillion cubic feet of natural gas is enough to heat 15 million homes for a year. Optimistically, these statistics could indicate an energy-independent future for the U.S. The EIA's Annual Energy Outlook for 2013 describes how, since 2005, the trend toward growing U.S. dependence on liquid fuel imports has reversed, with the net import share falling to an estimated 41% in 2012. In the context of the United States domestic economy, investing in the future of domestic natural gas has several rewards. This new supply of natural gas will place downward pressure on energy prices across the United States. In addition, energy independence will reduce U.S. dependency on foreign energy exports, especially in the Middle East. With less energy dependence, the United States has the potential to become an international energy leader, as well as hold leverage over nations who are energy import dependent. Additional jobs are created when wells are drilled and operated. The hydraulic fracking industry has already created around 600,000 jobs. Furthermore, hydraulic fracking could add 209,000 more jobs by 2015. Increased energy independence also prevents losing jobs to overseas competitors. The price of natural gas is regionally priced, which makes the cost to produce gas in the U.S. 3 to 5 times less expensive than in other parts of the world. This could mean more exports, which therefore will help balance the trade deficit of the U.S.
For most of the world's nations, tackling the energy issue will ultimately prove to be a real challenge. In the case of the United States, we have the opportunity to make headway and begin a move toward energy independence. Although there are many economic benefits, they are met with a myriad of environmental concerns. To solve these issues, Americans must improve their existing technologies with new innovations and methodologies in order for a bright and sustainable future to be possible.